Hey guys, Speedoz here, and today I bring you a new video about a Fireblade Vortex assassin. Many people were asking me to do a little bit of showcase of this build. It's not completely ready because I've just bought my the last cards of Doctor. I was farming Heists with it, so it's really easy to go through all the contracts and blueprints with this build. So I'll show you guys right now what we did. It's a level 95. We've reached level 95 with an assassin. The Pantheon is Briny King and Gruffco, my suggestions. The Bandits, I've helped the Lyra for critical strike multiplier and the resists. The Ascendancy, first of all, opportunistic, unstable infusion, deadly infusion, and Mistwalker for the elusive. If you want some help about the POB regarding leveling, I have a POB on the video description here. At the bottom left, you can see your leveling progress. So as soon as possible, we socked the inspired learning on the tree, so it's very easy to get real fast when you kill the mobs and get real strong when mapping. And also two options here. One once you reach level 90 and one after you reach level 95. Just a couple of life nodes there. On the nodes tab, you can see some gem suggestions, the skills suggestions, and also what items you could use, such as life spree, axiom. So make sure you take a look at this guide out on the POB. Okay. Talking about the jewels, we have 3 inspired learning, like I told you. This jewel simulates the headhunter properties, so instead of stealing all the modifiers from a rare monster, you steal only 1 per jewel. And all you have to do is to have 4 notables in radius, which are these bigger balls on the tree. Okay. The other jewel that we have, and not mandatory, is a natural instinct. This helps us a little bit with the damage, but most importantly, it's a medium cluster jewel with 4 or 5 passive skills. It doesn't matter. It's the same amount of passes that you will spend. The more important nodes here are Magnifier and Vast Power. As you can see, Vast Power gives us 20% increased area damage with 3% increased AoE per power charge. Since we have 3 on default, plus 3 on the tree, and plus 1 on our Ascendancy, we have a maximum of 7 power charges, which gives us 21% increased AoE per power charge on a single medium cluster, which is amazing. We also have Magnifier that gives us 10% increased AoE, 10% increased area damage, some multiplier. And on this jewel here, I have maximum life and phasing. Feel free to get any damage or any survivability, quality of life that you want on the last modifier there. I'm using the physical damage to spells while dual wielding because this jewel here I was using on the Blade Vortex Poison. So it came really handy. For the weapon, we have a very easy to craft bow, which is the short bow from the Porcupine card. We use the Deafening Essence of Woe to get the modifier 1, 2, 3 until 144 increased spell damage. It is very nice. How do you do that? You throw the essence to the bowl and pray for the +1 socked gem. If you don't get it, just annul until you have 1 suffix on the bowl, so you can craft multi-mod and then cannot roll attack mods. If you have a bow like this with no influence and you have cannot roll attack mods with full suffixes and an open prefix, once you exalt the bow, you will get with 100% chance the +1 socked gems. As soon as you do that, you can clear the bow by removing the crafted mods on your crafting bench. You can recraft the multi-mod with chance to deal double damage +2 support gems, and then you're good to go. If you use the Deafening Essence of Woe and you get the +1, then you just annul and make sure you have 1 open prefix and 2 open suffixes. Then you can just finish your crafting, just like this. Okay. Along with your bow, you're gonna use a signal fire because it gives us 50% of physical damage converted to fire damage. But most importantly, what you're gonna look for here is the last modifier, which is gain 35% of physical damage as extra fire damage. I bought a 34-1 because I found a implicit corruption in a very cheap trade, but you don't have to look for that corrupted implicit modifier, okay? Just focus on getting the 35% physical damage as extra fire damage. The corruption is nice, it helps a little bit, but most important here is the last modifier down there. On your helmet, I have a very cheap option here because I really wanted to have the quality of life of increased Blade Vortex duration, and I used some fossils to get some life and some resists. As you can see, the item level here is shit because it's not 84. So what you're gonna look for on this helmet is a Hubris item level 84 with the Unleash and the +1 power charge with the Awakening Orb craft with increased Blade Vortex duration. Once you get a Hubris, you can do all the Awakener craft thing, which I didn't because a Hubris 84 with increased Blade Vortex duration was costing 30 exalts, which I wasn't gonna pay, right? So feel free to upgrade the build as you're choosing. On the amulet, we have a very simple amulet with some global critical strike multiplier, resist, gain physical damage as extra fire, and I also crafted life on the open prefix. You don't need to be on this base, you don't need the level 22 clarity, and you also don't need the maximum energy shield. Any damage modifiers that you can get are welcome, or any other quality of life, such as the level 22 clarity, which you can replace for, I don't know, precision when you're reserving your mana, or don't really use precision. But a better amulet than this is the +2, which is +1 dexterity and +1 physical gems with any other quality of life. Could be maximum life, could be resistances, could be, I don't know, multiplier. So have that in mind. On the Anointment, I used Annihilation. It is a very simple and cheap one because it gives us some more damage. The rings are both Circle of Anguish with increased fire damage while affected by Herald of Ash, and Herald of Ash has increased buff effect. This will help us a lot with our damage and with our clear speed, but you don't necessarily need to start the build with these two rings. What you really need to start the build is a bow with some damage. Like I told you, you can just use the Deafening Essence of All with your quiver and then craft a explode chest with an Awakener Orb. So you can have the Frenzy Charge on hit and enemies you kill explode, dealing physical damage. If you don't use an explode chest, your clear will be very shit in my opinion. If you don't have an Awakener chest like this, or you want a alternative option, what you can do is to use the Asnaf's Gentle Touch, the Explosion Gloves, which is very nice, so you can replace your chest, the Explosion modifier, but with a additional curse property. Okay, so if you replace, just craft another chest. But if you don't, if you keep a chest like this, you can use, for example, a Hands of the High Templar, because it's a very easy option and cheap option to get your elemental weakness on hit, on the implicit. So this gloves is very nice because it also gives us increased maximum life and maximum, resistances, fire and lightning, which is always welcome. On our boots, I'm using a replica Aeneas, which was a suggestion of the stream. It is a very nice boots in my opinion because since we have 7 power charges, it gives us 35 movement speed, 35 increased damage, and some nice life as well. Once I change to my Headhunter, probably I will need to change the boots because my current belt gives me some very nice resists. It gives us cold, lightning, and some life, right? But as you can see, the bell is very, very simple as well. On the flasks, we have a life flask, we have a diamond, which you can replace by bottle of faith if you feel like. I have a granite because of the heists, so I really wanted a little bit of armor. I have a cinder swallow. The crafted right there could be the increased critical strike chance during effects, and a quicksilver for our movementation. For the gems, we have an inspiration with unleash, control destruction, blade vortex, and power 3, could be level 4 obviously if you have currency, and elemental focus. I have a cast on damage taken with Vol Righteous Fire, increased duration, and steel skin. I also have a arcane surge level 1 with flame dash, smoke mine, and second wind, Arctic armor, Herald of Purity, Herald of Ash, and a portal. Withering Step with second wind, it is very nice to have some elusive effects. And then Wave of Conviction, Hex Touch, Combustion, and Flammability. How do you play this build? The usual movementation sequence that you can use by throwing the smoke mine, detonating it, and using the flame dash. It is very simple. You can use the Wave of Conviction to then apply the fire exposure and reduce the enemy's fire resistances, also applying the combustion. You can also remember to use the Withering Step so you can have some elusive effects and some movement speed, also to increase its defensive properties. And then pop your Vol Righteous Fire, remember to have the Arcane Surge up, and then just use Blade Vortex and run around. It is very, very nice build to play. I spend around currently 30 exalts, but if you take out the rings, which one was 8.5 and then 9 exalts, you will see that the build will get very, very cheap, right? The bow, as you can see, it is very easy to craft. The chest, it is very easy to craft as well. We have some nice upgrade options here. In my case, I'm using this build to farm. I use this build to farm my headhunter, most of it. It is very, very simple to map with it. All you have to do is to pay attention when heisting to the doors, right? Because the doors stack lots of rare monsters. So as soon as you get your inspired learnings, you can also use your Blade Vortex to just protect yourself and let the Blade Vortex kill all the monsters behind the doors, or you can just stack your Blade Vortex and then flame dash through them, which will explode them all. It is very nice build. It's not mainly focused right now on killing bosses, but on the future, as soon as I change my tree and remove my inspired learnings, I can get more HP, more damage, so it will certainly be able to kill the regular bosses like Conquerors and Cyrus. Okay, I think it's capable now, but it's not comfortable, so I don't feel like recommending this build for you to farm Conquerors and Cyrus. Alright, so certainly a very nice mapper, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.